the next part of what we're going to do is we're taking on the questions that you guys sent in, everything that came through. We have some of everybody who said, hey, this one sounds like me, this one doesn't. We're going to go around to each person so they can answer questions and give just really some of their most valuable insight that they have to go on. So this may go over a little bit as far as each time, so we just got to watch ourselves and go through with that. So I have a bit of something for everybody, and I think we'll just kind of start as we go around the room. And I'll start with Mr. Dating Intelligence, Christopher Lewis. One of the questions that came up from one of the folks is, how do you cut to the chase and know if you're compatible dating or not?
How do you cut to the chase if you know you're compatible? So that's a great question. So one of the things that I love to share with everyone is the fact that there is no timeline on when you feel like somebody's compatible with you when it comes to just being open with that person, having a good time with the person, being honest with the person. There's this one thing that I call it truth or honesty, where, you know, you both are just going to ask each other questions about each other in the most honest and truthful way and learn a lot from that. And so what you receive from the other person is you're receiving them listening to something that you're sharing with them from that, you know, that you might not share with everyone, but eventually being compatible with someone is just taking that chance. It's an energy, it's a frequency, it's something that you should just know, but you also have to be mindful of, like, not allowing yourself to get caught up and sucked into, like, you know, for instance, like what this person does or how much money this person has, or like, you know, she's beautiful and she looks like this. It's like, those are just physical attributes and outward things that are of that person, but not internally looking inside of someone's soul and really understanding if that's someone you're going to be with. So we've all had these, you know, honeymoon flings, obviously, that last maybe a month or two, and then all of a sudden it falls flat, just because you guys are on this high of being with each other, but you're not really understanding each other, knowing who each other is really. And that usually comes after month 3, 4, 5, and 6 down the road. So if you can just be with the person and start from the beginning and just be your honest self, ask questions that you want to know about that person, and keep an open mind, honestly, you know, because most people, like I said, you guys have these checklists out there, and sometimes the person might not check all the boxes, but that might be okay. I mean, how many of us out there, like you said, have actually been with a friend and all of a sudden now you're dating this friend like 3 years later because you never saw them as a love interest, you just saw them as a friend. But at the same time, you know, there's people out there that are compatible for each other because it is a like energy and a like frequency that we just get attracted to right away. So sometimes that's great, and sometimes, like you said, it's a pitfall, because, like, once again, you're only acting upon your energy, your sexual energy, versus your compatibility energy. So always be on the lookout for that as well. But the best thing is when you find someone that you're sexually compatible with and emotionally compatible with, and that's the perfect mate for you, and that's where those frequencies are going to vibe, and that energy is just going to be magnetic and magic. And if you guys can just keep that going and just, once again, just stay communicative, listen well, be honest with each other, it can go a long way.
Sign me up for magnetic magic. Sign me up for sure. Absolutely. Another question comes through. Doc Harmony and Mr. Bolton. How do you keep your partner as an important part of your everyday life?
You want to go first?
Go ahead.
So at some point in our relationship, I had to just decide, and it was early on, thank goodness, that Kevin was my number one priority. How did that show up? We had, children, we had animals, we have a large property, we have a lot of things to take care of and maintain, but my husband is and has always been number one. And that just shows up by taking care of his needs first and foremost. And then what shows up for me as a woman, the caretaker, the nurturer, is that he would never ask me not to put him first. And that's what made it so easy to keep him number one. I never felt conflicted that my other priorities, children and household and work, was not important. And so, so that's, for me, it's been my number one priority. And that's where I learned about Queen's Code and taking Sterling classes and Landmark Forum, because at the end of the day, I want to be the best version of myself for my husband, and so that we can have the best relationship possible. So I think many of the other panelists have already said, I work on myself. And the more I work on myself, the more I can show up as the best version and can love my husband in the best possible fashion.
And I mean, to go off of that, to be honest with you, I don't treat her necessarily like my wife. I treat her like my wife and my girlfriend. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I don't let the romance die. I continue to flirt with her and continue to support her in her ways of being a woman. Mm-hmm. I stand on my terms. And, you know, I think so often what lacks is good, strong, masculine leadership in relationships. Not all women want that, but surprisingly, a number of women do. And they want a man to have integrity and strength. And when that knock happens at 2:00 in the morning, they don't want to have a question of who's answering the door and how they're going to handle it. So, yeah, I think that is just being flirty and loving and kind and romantic. And I think that really helps secure that vulnerability and that completeness in a relationship, so that she knows that when she walks in, she's a 10 in my world. The rest of the world might not see her as a 10, but in my world, she's a 10. And I'm not afraid to let her know that, and to make sure that she feels that is who I see her as, that she is my queen and I treat her like a queen.
And my favorite thing I'd like to end with is every morning, without fail, my husband wakes up every morning and he's not even got his eyes open. He's like, good morning, beautiful. I love you.
Every morning.
And I wake up every morning feeling beautiful.
Yeah.
Me too. Like, I'm over here smiling. Me too. That's awesome. That's beautiful. Feel it. That's awesome. My AF person, Shell, how you doing? What's happening over there? I see you over there in the corner, just hanging out, just like I just swerve on and stuff. So, so how to create a sexual spontaneity in a long-term relationship? Can you help out with that?
Oh, wow. Well, first you have to know your own body. You can, if you are not willing to explore through all of your changes, hormonal, age, no, those are the two biggest ones to me, because I'm there with both of them. But if you're not willing to make sure that you know your body and know what kind of makes you tick, there's not a point in doing anything spontaneous that is going to flop. So you have to be open to the idea of keep getting to know your body over and over and over and over again. And your partner's body. The two of you have to grow together in order for that spontaneity to happen. I'm kind of at a just keep a pulse on what's going on and go with the flow. Don't automatically reject anything, but if you're not in tune with yourself, it's not going to work very well. So stay in tune, keep learning, keep exploring.
I like it. All right. I will. Absolutely. All right. Allison. All right. Let's talk, Allison, you and me. Let's just have everyone else can listen to, I mean, if they want to, I guess, but you know, why don't we talk? So appreciate it. How about best sex practices that you can think of for or that would help people that are common in the 21st century that help, let's just say, women become goddesses in the bedroom?
My favorite topic. And I'm going to talk a lot more about this tomorrow night in my breakout group. But I will give you all a little hack tonight before we get into it further tomorrow, which is to use the tool of mindfulness in the bedroom. So I think one of the big problems that people have with having intimate relationships, with sex and sexuality, is that we tend as a society to kind of operate in our heads all the time. We're thinking about, dinner tonight, what we have to do tomorrow. what's going on, or in dating, you're thinking, does he like my body? What do I look like in this angle? I better keep the lights off. I hope he doesn't see my cellulite, whatever it might be. We're in our heads. We're thinking, and we're not in our bodies. Mindfulness is the practice of experiencing the moment to moment as it unfolds. So I spent many years teaching mindfulness to people, and now I apply it to the bedroom, both personally and professionally, working with my clients. And it can be really, really easy to start to adopt. Just focus on feeling physical sensations when you are being sexually intimate with someone. Notice the touch of your partner's caress on your skin. Don't think about it. Don't be in your head, I think it feels blah, blah, blah. No, just feel, just notice, just be mindfully present in the moment. And when you start doing that, and when you get more courageous about that, and you really sort of give into that, you will lose yourself in sexual pleasure. You will receive, you will orgasm, you will take things to the next level in terms of your sexual pleasure with your partner, and your partner will love it. And particularly, I work with women, right? Particularly when women will just receive their partner's physical attention and touch and receptivity without worrying or thinking in their heads. Guys tend to love it. They tend to feel really excited. Most guys just want to make us women happy. I think Kevin and Harmony would agree with me on this. And so this is all it is. It's just that simple. Get out of your head, get in your body, and you will increase your sexual pleasure enormously.
Amen.
Yeah, count me in. Yeah, signed up. Absolutely. My love train company girl. There she is. Sabrina, how are you? Feeling okay? Doing all right over there?
I'm feeling great. Thank you.
Well, I got one for you. So
yeah.
I got a female viewer who sent in this question. How to jump into the dating scene after being out for over 20 years.
Very good. How to jump into the dating scene after being MIA for 20 years, right? It's a big question. So first of all, I would say congratulations. I would say I would acknowledge you for putting yourself out there, wanting to create an amazing relationship with another human being. I don't know the circumstances around why the big gap. You know, you might have had a breakup or a divorce. But I can say if you are at a point where you are ready to get back out there in the dating scene and attract someone that's right for you, that deserves a huge congratulations, because I think we live in a time where we can get very cynical and resigned around opening our hearts and around the possibility to relationship. So that you're willing to go for it is already a huge, tremendous positive sign. And so I would start with sharing that you are single and you are looking. And I would start with sharing it with people in your life that you love and you trust. So your trusted friends, your trusted family members, reach out to those people that are rooting for you, have always rooted for you. They're in your corner. They're the ones that have your best intentions in their hearts. So they're the ones that have your back. Those are the people that you want to start sharing your love intention with. This is, I'm single, I'm putting myself out there, I'm nervous about it maybe, I'm excited about it. I would love your mentorship and your guidance and your recommendations. So that's something else I often tell my clients, that your friends are the best people to set you up with someone because they know you. And every single person knows a minimum of 200 people, a minimum of 200 people. So you undoubtedly have someone in your community, in your life, that could give you a fabulous recommendation. And there's no better way to meet someone than having a trusted friend recommend them to you. So in the age of online dating, which I also recommend to my clients, you don't get that. You're meeting someone like completely new. You don't know them. This is the first time you've ever met them. And so if you're someone that is jumping in for the first time and hasn't done online dating, I highly recommend that too. I highly recommend it. It's a tremendous tool once you learn how to use it to actually meet lots of new people. But if you're a particularly sensitive person or you get triggered really easily, I hear Chris laughing, I would highly, highly recommend that you get a coach or a mentor to help you navigate the world of online dating. I have clients that are in their 70s, actually, that have tried online dating for the first time and attracted a partner. So it is absolutely possible, but without the tools to do it, to navigate it, it can get a little tricky. Just like meeting people in real life can get tricky, right? So the last thing I would say is approach jumping into dating like it's a practice. You're not getting somewhere with it. There's no outcome when it comes to you connecting with that person in front of you. Let go of the thoughts of, is this person the one? Are they right for me? Do they like me? Do I like them? These are inevitable thoughts that come on your head when you're on a date with someone. But what I would say is notice those thoughts when they come up and remember, I'm practicing. This is, not a drill. I am practicing. I am getting to know myself. I'm getting to know this person in front of me. I'm getting to know all the different opportunities available to me. So when you approach it like a practice, it takes a lot of stress off of your shoulders and you can relax and enjoy building connection with the person that's on the date with you. And that's it, Chris. Thank you.
That's awesome. Sure. Your clients, let them know this weird podcast, Swipe Wrong. It's out there somewhere. Some clown hosts it. But there are success stories, which is the great thing. The pursuit of happiness, it's not a direct line. It is not linear by any stretch of the imagination. Where's the RN? Treva, how are you? What's going on over there, Treva? Yeah, she's like, I've been quiet for so long. It's time for me to talk now. So got one for you. So creating ease and fun in romantic relationships, raising self-esteem, and to date and to be in a romantic relationship. What are some of the keys to that, do you think?
Oh my God, that's a multi-part question.
You're a multi-part kind of girl.
Which requires a multi-part answer. Can you repeat the question again?
Yeah, sure. Creating ease and fun in romantic relationships, raising self-esteem, to date and be in a romantic relationships. What are the keys, in your opinion, in your wisdom?
Okay, so there's an old saying that people don't make happy couples. They are happy on their own and then they become couples. And I can attest to that because I was single for so long and I came to every relationship I was in the best version of what I thought I could be and who I thought I could be. And I brought it, man. I brought the fun. I brought the ease. I brought the great sex. I brought the laughs and the levity. And, at the end of the day, at some point, and I brought my self-esteem too. I think at the end of the day, you just have to sort of stop and say, this is pretty great. It's if you're not digging this, then you're with the wrong person. And I think I'm going to go back to Chris's answer about compatibility, because what I found that even with great sex and even with off the chart chemistry and even with, super duper attraction and same taste in music and same politics and all kinds of common interests and common bonds, the thing that really is going to make it work is having a shared vision of the future. And I really think that is sort of what's going to kind of get it off the ground. It's going to launch you, having the same sort of goal, if you will. I want to be in a relationship. Yeah, I want to be in a relationship too. Or no, I just want to kind of keep it light, no strings attached. Okay, me too. Sort of being on the same page, vibrating on the same frequency. It all adds to what I find is a very fulfilling and possibly successful relationship. Does that answer the question?
Sure does. You
Okay.
did great.
All right.
You did great. That was phenomenal, especially with that smile too. That was fantastic. Look at you. All right. So let's go to the brains of the operation. Let's go. I know she's excited, but I got one because Tamara, you've talked to everybody. You've got everybody's insights. You're probably one of the, I don't know, the well-rounded of the bunch. And there's a question that came in that I think might be good for you. So a woman sent in this question. She's wondering about how to get her self-confidence back after not having intimate sex for a long time, and what's the best mindset she should go about doing that?
I can't answer it. I don't know. I mean, you just have to like yourself as you are. You have to look in the mirror. I know I've watched plenty of shows on Netflix and different stuff. They have you get naked in front of a mirror and look at yourself and just notice all the positive things and just really be with yourself. That seemed to work. It was, I think, Goop on Netflix. And I don't know, I've always been confident in that way. So I just channel your inner goddess, like Allison said.
That's good.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to answer.
Sorry.
I'm behind the scenes.
Sorry. Fair enough. It works for me, and all that is good. So all right. So I'm not looking to get married, Andre. I don't need that right now. But how about we go with a gentleman asked,
Yes.
what impact does online dating have in the attitude and mental health of those in the dating pool?
Ooh, well, I'm just going to give you a piece of what I hear all the time. What the hell is going on out there? This is what I hear all the time. I've had clients ladies and men, it's interesting, they react differently, but the ladies will say, I had one lady who was online dating for 4 years and never got one date. Now, tall, beautiful, posted the pictures of her classy with her hair done, pictures of herself in sweatpants, so she looks like a real person, walking the dog, and tried every aspect possible, and no dating, no action, no follow-up, just chime in and then disappear, and hey, you look pretty, disappear, and then she ended up with lower self-esteem on the other side of 4 years of online crap, that's what I called it. Then if she, was constantly felt rejected, thousands of possibilities. This is really why people do it. Thousands of possibility and very little quality. So for some people, it's torturous. It destroys them. It kills her. They're already nervous to join in. They're already nervous to see what's going to happen. But to be rejected or to just be played with and forgotten is actually really quite hurtful. This is what the ladies tell me. On the other side, the men, very interesting. And I say this, and I get it, right? I'm not stuck in the old ways, it's just that there's a lot of difficulties with online dating. And so I actually tell my clients, just get off the apps. Let me tell you why. This is what men tell me, right? Men say, well, I went online because it makes sense, especially through the pandemic, that you can't go anywhere and there's thousands of people available, all over the place. Great. Except when they manage to like somebody, make it happen, set up, they come back with, I've heard this over and over. He goes, come back with, what the hell? She was 10 years older, at least at their picture, 30 years heavier, nothing like what she presented, blah, blah, blah. And then they actually feel like they've been lied to and it was kind of a fraud, right? So he makes a plan and all of a sudden, this is like, and I always say this, like I wasn't going to notice, what? So men will hang out on apps for 2-3 months. And my experience, what they say to me is forget this crap. And what happens is they do what men do. I want to say this. I said this last night when we had our meeting. I think for the ladies, dating apps are the possibilities, the fantasies, I had a client who met a guy online, and she called him her boyfriend. And I go, "Where'd you guys meet?" She goes, "We haven't met yet. He was in Paris," right? So she's telling all her friends she has a boyfriend in Paris. I'm like, "You never met the guy. You don't have a boyfriend in Paris. You think he's not having fun in Paris and he's loyal to you in Paris? He never met you. He doesn't know you." All right, so there's a fantasy. I see women fantasizing about the possibilities. I get it. Ladies sort of like to sort of, it's possible. It could happen, right? Like meet somebody from Barcelona and I get moved to Spain. Ooh, wow. This is not how men do it. That's the difference. So men shop. I'm just gonna say men, after getting up the apps because they feel it's kind of a crapshoot, and they're insulted after not meeting when they were supposed to meet. Just saying. They dump the apps and they do what I call shop locally. So men don't want to find somebody in Barcelona. They want to date a woman who's in town. They don't want somebody in France or in Germany, right? They want a girl. They don't even want people that are 2 hours away. I'm in Los Angeles, right? If the girl is in Orange County, the guy's like, "Oh, Orange County is 2 hours. So 2 hours in traffic both ways to go meet this girl if I like her every weekend." They don't want that. They want somebody local. And so when men, the real men, by the way, not the boys, again, the distinction here, the men shop locally and they look for you ladies. They look. Men are looking at the gas station, at Ralph's store, at Rite Aid's, you name it, at the car wash. Is there a better place in the world to shop and look at people at the car wash? 45 minutes of nothing else to do. But if you're with ladies on your phone, you're sending the signal that you're not interested. And that's the problem. I say dump the apps, get in the world, learn how to flirt, ladies, right? Because the men are watching and are waiting for a signal. And the guy is local. You are local. This is what they want. They shop locally, not hours away, not different countries. Local. This is what men say. So psychologically, I think the apps, are very damaging to a lot of women. Some succeed. Sure. The odds, the numbers, don't match pretty well. Some men, again, get lucky, but as a rule, I go, back to old school, face to face, looking at each other. You can actually sense somebody's energy when you're in their presence. Standing in line at Starbucks, you'll have a sense of that person, that man, that woman, nearby, energetically, pheromones, nature, as opposed to some screen and I'm just saying. So, again, my advice to my clients is, we use the apps to practice dating because there's a lot of people too, but there's a filter to find the one out there live, if that makes any sense. So
makes sense. Makes sense. I can dig it. I guess I hear this a lot because I'm on, that whole swipe wrong thing. But I always say experiences over expectations. That's like, I think one of the biggest things that you can go into with that. All right, so now I have to apologize to everybody here. Like, I'm sure there's plenty of times when everyone's like, "Wait, I want to say this about that," and I want to. So my fault. I just want to make sure everyone got their say, and everybody got to hear from everybody else. Now we have bloodshed and chaos, and I guess I can play the part of chaos. There are community questions that I will ask, and I'll just kind of deem, hey, these were set up maybe for these three, but if somebody else wants to kick me in the shin and go right ahead, by all means, go right ahead. So everybody who's out there listening, if your drinks aren't full, go fill them up, because this is the part where people will step on each other and spill over, and the drinking game will commence. This will happen. My drink's empty, but I can't leave. So, all right. So we'll start it this way. We did have a question come in, and I'm just going to leave it to a bit of an open forum on this one, because I think it had something to do with Andre's answer. It came through the chat that are there more older women single than men, do you think? And actually, let me just start. I'm just going to start with Miss AF over there in the corner, because she's like at me. Here I am. So just your belief from your insights.
I don't know that. Well, first of all, women tend to live longer than men because we don't do a whole lot of stupid stuff.
Showing off. I get it.
Yeah, it's a little bit of showing off, a little bit of I can fix that. On a ladder with wheels, 2 stories up kind of thing. So perhaps there are more women available than men. But I think that once you reach a certain age, you're just tired of the bullshit. So yeah, sure, there are a lot more women out there, but they're dating for different reasons than, say, someone their age on Viagra. Might be a little confrontational, but we discuss quite a bit in our group in regards to those kinds of habits.
Anyone else? Jump in. Let's go ahead. No one?
So bring the question again.
The question again. Are there more older women single versus men? Just belief.
I don't know. I'm a geek. I look like a musician, but I'm a complete geek. I research everything. I'm all about statistics, numbers, data, right? And so I don't know any data about this. We know there's 3% more women in the world than men to start with. So we have that. So yes, there are more women available. At what age, how, why? We know the statistic as far as I'm not sure if that's sexy to talk about here, but hey, let's get real. That women typically by 80% are the ones leaving marriages, not men. So women choose to leave much more than men. Interesting. And on the other side, this is what I experienced. And then how to find somebody when you're older to line up with your new value in a pool that's this big, the pool that's this big. So a lot of women, I think, find themselves left behind with nowhere to go fishing in the realm of finding a solid mate a little later in life. But the data itself, I'm not familiar.
Hopefully the pool is the only thing that big. Just saying.
Chris, I want to comment on this question, not to necessarily answer because I don't know statistically either, but I think the more important thing is what's behind that question. And to me, what I hear is fear. I hear the woman asking that question saying, I'm afraid that there are way less available men than women, meaning I'm going to get left out in the cold. I'm never going to find a guy. The old Harry Met Sally quote that kept getting repeated in that movie for those of you who remember, where it's like, I think Carrie Fisher kept saying you're more likely to be kidnapped by terrorists over 40 than to get remarried or find a man, something ridiculous, right? So women have been inundated in our society with this fear-based messaging that good men are a scarce resource. There's very few out there. And therefore, you have to fight your way to get to a good man. Mm-hmm. And to me, that's all nonsense because it all comes out of a lack, scarcity kind of mindset, fear-based mindset. And that goes to that doing that internal work. Because if you are no longer afraid all the time and going out and looking with this, oh my God, am I ever going to find a guy kind of perspective, then no, you're not going to find a guy. But when you can let go of that fear and just move into grace and ease and enjoying your life and not hyper focused on the lack of men, then you start to see men all around you and available men. And, there's a lid for every pot. But if you are so focused on that it's not here, it's never going to happen for me, then that is what you will see. Reticular activating system. If you think there's no men, you're going to see no men. If you start to let go of that fear, and the best way to do that is to live your life, enjoy your life, have fun, find all the things that excite you and jazz you and make you happy, then you're going to end up in spaces where there are men, where you are emanating happiness and magnetism, and you will draw in the right guy for you.
dig it. A lid or lighter for every pot, whatever
So
you're.
I have one more thing to say on this one, guys. I'm gonna give it. I think Andre and
You got
Allison
it.
are both on the same point. But one thing that what I'm hearing out of this question is the fact that, especially being in Los Angeles, and I talk to a lot of women, and there's a difference. And Andre, you said this earlier. There's a difference between a man and a boy. When men as they get older, men they skew down because they don't want to be with a woman who's already, once again, has that, knowledge, has those qualities already, has these values already that, that they probably already tried within either married before or not. But as men get older, a lot of boys are stuck in their ways and they don't really want to be with a woman who has values, who's mature, who knows their shit. Right. So a lot of guys, I can see this question from my point of view, because I feel like a lot of women are right in the sense where when I talk, they go, there are no good men because there's only boys out there and all these. And so to find a good quality man, that's like going off of what Allison said, it is something that you're just going to have your eyes wide open. Andre's right. Look around you everywhere, be available to just being open and aware, because if your head's down in the sand, you're never going to find a good man, and that good man could be right next to you. So I see this as a spin on both of what you guys said, the difference between men and boys. And so I agree with what you guys were doing.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
Appreciate that.
I agree
with you. Pot for every lid. Lid for every pot. How's the saying go?
Yeah,
Lid for every pot.
Yes.
The lighter's wrong.
Yeah, I have to believe that there's someone for everybody. I just have to believe that.
Chris,
I'd like to say one thing regarding this conversation. It's such a good conversation. And what we've been talking about a lot is like out there, it appears that there isn't like the right guy or the right woman for me. They're not right for me. There's something wrong with them. These are scarcity thoughts. These are fear-based thoughts. But the other piece that we don't normally ask is, who do I get to be and what am I offering that would attract the kind of person that would light me up and I could light them up too? We so often are so quick to judge other people on their faults, on the things that are wrong with them. And, we don't ever engage in what kind of woman do I get to be? What's possible for me and my way of being that would attract a really amazing person into my life. And so that piece is rarely talked about. And that's where the real work is actually happening. You get to do that work in your heart first before you can go out and say, you know what, that guy's not right for me. I can tell that because our values aren't aligned. We're not into the same things. Our futures, we don't have the same vision for the future. It starts with you and who you're being. Who you're being is going to attract the right person for you. So I wanted to weigh in on that as well. Thank you.
Oh, I love that. Can I jump in here? This is too perfect.
Yeah, for a minute though, bro. Then we got to get to another one. We got more questions.
Are you pushing me around?
Yeah.
I know you're not pushing me around. Are you pushing me around?
Like, it's a nudge. It's not a full push. It's a nudge.
All right.
But dude, your commuter traffic won't get you to me. That's all.
You're a funny guy. No, it's just interesting what Sabrina just said, because let me just give you a piece that most people don't quite understand or even thought of in the realm of relationship. Understand that women control access to sex. True or false? Women control access to sex. It's obvious. You have all the control there. You go, girl. You're in charge. Men control access to the relationship. And when women say stuff like, and I see it all the time, well, he's got to be up here. He's got to meet me up here. He's got to be all of that. He's got to be this. The list is this long. I call it you're going to be alone the rest of your life list, because that's a unicorn that doesn't exist in your head, right? That's not reality. But I flipped the script, just like Sabrina just brought forth. Like, never mind, what you're looking for. Like, who do you have to be as a woman for a man to choose you? You know what I mean? It sounds really crappy, but think about it. Like, men are the buyers here. Men decide if they're going to get in a relationship with you or not. Not you. You'll be pretty, you'll attract, you do all the beaming, but men pick women. So who do you have to be for men to go, wow, let me build something with her? It's not about him. You have to know what the buyer's buying. I hate to say it, it's crass, but you know what I mean? The power is in your hands for offering what men are looking for. And most women have no idea what men are looking for. Most women have no idea what makes a man show up, keep showing up, commit, and ultimately go on one knee. What makes a man commit? No one knows.
I don't even know where the macaroni and cheese is at Ralph's.
See?
So
Wow.
I'm not certain.
But that's a huge piece, right? What makes a man commit? It's very clear to men, except they can't really explain it. So, all right, I'm done. Sorry. So,
no worries. We got a question in the chat, and I'm gonna drop it in over at Kevin and Harmony's house so they can weigh on it first. But I have a feeling that everyone is going to explode and have an opinion. Now, don't forget, we also need to get into information on your breakouts tomorrow. Anybody who hasn't registered and is just watching the live stream or something, make sure you register with the link so you can get the Zoom invite. And we all are best friends again tomorrow because, hanging out for a couple nights is a good thing. Right. So make sure you have that. But the question, and like I said, we'll start with you. Do you think it's forcefully, and that is in all caps, they're yelling at me when they say forcefully, needed for a relationship to work that is a man has a masculine energy and a woman feminine energy? Or do you think what's important is balance in energies?
Go ahead.
Who's answering?
So all we can speak to is a male and a female relationship with all those appropriate body parts. So anything outside of that realm, we're not addressing that. I just want to, because we love everybody. But yes, absolutely. In the beginning, I acted like a man. I wanted to be in charge. I wanted to control. I wanted to micromanage everything. I thought I knew best. I thought I knew how it should be. Our first fight, interestingly enough, it's hysterical now. At the time it wasn't. We lost a lot of food over it and items that went off the balcony. And it was over head of household. So we were just arguing. And of course, we have no idea about what. And he goes, babe, there can only be one head of household. And at the same time, we're like, yeah, it's me. There's clearly a problem, clearly. And through all my work with Queen's Code, through all of the Sterling Women's, I have discovered being a woman. And like Andre made the very poignant point, I say to a lot of my clients, if you want Prince Charming, are you being a princess?
Hello. And
I wasn't being a princess. I was being competitive. And I was boxing with his ego on a regular basis. And once I discovered certain tips and tricks and became more female, more gentle, my voice became more gentle, my tone became more gentle, I listened more appropriately, I stopped interrupting, and I stopped saying, I know what you're thinking all the time. And I became more feminine as our relationship absolutely blossomed into the dream that I've always wanted. And that's just a quick summary of 22 years of being in a male and female relationship. So I would answer yes. And I honor his masculinity. I'm no longer afraid of it. I welcome it. I cherish it. I love his masculinity and his virility and his strength. And it's just a huge turn on for me.
And it was an absolute competition. I mean, it was sword fighting on a daily basis. And, for me, that shit was fun. I'm like, oh, you want a sword fight? This is freaking awesome. Let me just slay your ass, And and it's not cool because it doesn't create a loving environment. So, and I think on the same hand where she learned her power as a queen, where she learned her power, for us guys, man, that feminine power slays our ass flat. I have not to compete against that. When she speaks to me in that little coy voice, I'm like, oh shit, what's it going to cost me? It's like, I want to serve her. I want to protect her. So in my perspective, in our perspective of this relationship, it is that we have our roles, we have our lanes, and she knows how to to communicate with me. She knows how to make me go slay dragons. And it's not make me, I want to go slay dragons for her. I want to honor her and treat her like the queen that she is in my life. And I think those traditional roles, sometimes we lose focus of that, and it makes it more challenging. But, I think the other key is that men, we talked about boys and guys and men, like Andre said, there's a real lack of training to bring boys or guys into a masculine role where they know how to be a man and they can make unselfish choices for the relationship so that the relationship is the most important unit.
Fact. Drop the mic. Beautiful.
Awesome. Anyone? All right.
I could pick it back if you want, but you lead.
It's cool. We'll roll in. Because I'll tell you what, I'll probably ask this one, and I bet everyone will have an opinion. So we'll probably have it just go around. Y'all can fight over it then. It'd be like Game of Thrones or vote you off the island, however we want to do it. Battle of the North.
You lead.
And then after that, we can talk about what your breakouts are going to be like tomorrow. So we'll just go with, what can I do to become more sexual for my partner? And I'm sure everybody's got an opinion on that one. Who wants to take it away?
Well, I'll start with, you got to become more sexual for you first, right? It starts with you, kind of like Shell was saying earlier.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When you get in touch with your own sexuality, you automatically will be more sexual for your partner. Mm-hmm. That's how it works. And so the question is, what are the barriers inside you that are preventing you from being more in touch with your own sexuality? What is there some trauma there? A lot of women have that. There's a fair amount of men who have that too. Is there fear of being vulnerable, fear of being open? Are there body image issues that preoccupy you? Aging, is there hormonal issues going on that might be better served from some hormone replacement therapy, which I know we got a lot of questions on. And none of us are doctors here, but these are all issues that you need to really, I think, figure out for yourself in order to become sort of quote unquote more sexual for your partner. It's become more sexual for you and figure out what are the barriers inside of you preventing you from feeling sexy, from feeling sensual, from wanting to have that kind of physical intimacy with another person, with your partner.
I have a comment.
Go for it.
Okay.
Yes.
So yes, to that end, Allison, getting out of your head and being in your body and taking stock of all that's great about you, knowing who you are and what you have to give and what you have to offer, is applicable to dating. It's what gives you your power. It's what makes you feel as an empowered single. Same with sex. I think the best sex just comes from being okay in yourself, letting go, and that's hard. That's a tough. That's a heavy lift for some people to feel good in their body. Some of us are a little better at it than others. Some people feel a little bit more comfortable, that have less hang-ups. But I think with practice and with breathing, letting go, being mindful, as it pertains to dating as well, not losing yourself, feeling like, okay, I got this. I'm going to let go. I'm going to practice surrendering. I'm going to just release and see where this goes. And again, taking stock of who you are, what you've got, little inventory, and feeling good about yourself and letting the rest go.
I just want to throw out there too, if you're about to have sex or having sex, they're obviously there and wanting to be there with you. So just like you're saying, let go and enjoy it, and don't purposely be quiet or worry or stuff. Just whatever you're feeling, let it out. And they appreciate that because they wanted to be there and they're there with you. So
I want to add Carrie's comment real quick to all of this. She says, overcoming insecurities and traumas, especially abandonment issues. So it's very, very important to be in the current, to be in the moment, not to, again, be in your head, as previously said, but staying in the moment. We have to work so much on ourselves to just be able to get there. And one of those things is, I mean, how many of us have starter husbands? So all of that comes with trauma. Even when it ended amicably, it still comes with some sort of trauma. It comes with a little hang up on why you didn't succeed. So if we can deal with our traumas, stay in the current, then we have a lot better chance of being successful in that arena.
I'd like to put a chair in that Sunday. May I?
Yeah, of course.
So this is the shortcut to it. Are you ready? So, ladies, you have to understand, I'm assuming a lady asked that question, how do you be more sexual? If you understand that men connect instantly to your energy, how you feel is what we pick up. If you're happy, we're happy. If you feel good, it feels good. I want to be close to you. If you stress, if you tense, we step back. You see this with your husband, you see it with everybody at work. When you're good, we're good. But get this. Whatever size you are, tall, short, big hips, big butt, whatever, right? If you beat yourself down for this, it will kill your self-esteem. It will keep you sensual energy. However, if you train a little bit, if you get that dress, if you put those heels on, you get your hair done, whatever. Are you ready? So simple. When you feel sexy, ladies, when you feel sexy, like you feel sexy, you are freaking sexy. And this is what men are like, whoop, right there. So it's not your height, it's not your blonde hair, it's not your dark hair, it's not your long, it's how you feel. The energy you emit is what we pick up. And again, doesn't matter if you can get yourself to feeling sexy, whatever it is for you, whatever it takes you, boom, and watch men respond, especially the one in your house. Just say, shortcut. Man, can you confirm? Man, can you confirm? Man, the men have to confirm this.
Absolutely.
I saw all of them shaking their heads. Yes.
That's so simple. Very simple. How you feel is how we feel with you.
And I'll give you a little brain hack. Okay.
Brilliant.
I'm going to roll this back over to men, but I'm going to give you a little brain hack. Get you some sticky notes. Put them on your mirror. I am sexy. I am hot. I am sensuous. And every morning when you're brushing your teeth, just read that to yourself. Every morning, every night you brush your teeth, read it, read it, read it. What it does is it creates a subliminal message in your brain, and you start feeling and believing what you're constantly telling yourself day in and day out. I do this for men all the time to help them with the same type of issues. And what happens is they put them sticky notes on the mirror. First of all, it's an act. You got to go, fuck, I'm going to write a sticky note, put it on the mirror. Well, you got to put your self-esteem down a little bit just to put the sticky note up there. But then while you're brushing your teeth and you're telling yourself this, it's going in and you're starting to believe it. And I'll give you an example. We were in Costa Rica, this woman named Maria. She was probably 68 years old. Everywhere we went, she was always dressed to the nines, always had her high heels on. And I'm like, I cannot believe I'm lusting this 68-year-old woman. She's so fucking sexy. I can't stand it. And we would walk in and these young men would just be, their mouths dropped. And they were just like, yes, ma'am, how may we help you? Every government office we went into, she stopped the traffic. She believed she was a goddess.
She was.
And she was a goddess. And her energy just exuded like a stripper everywhere we went. I'm telling you, it was amazing. So hack your own brain. Put that damn sticky note up there and start telling yourself you deserve to be sexy and be sexy.
I love it.
I'm going to back up the goddess comment.
big proponent of putting it out in the universe, and then we'll come back to that for sure. You put that out there, that's the right thing.
So I just want to end off with an acknowledgement. You know, everybody who's dialing in, thank you for taking the time to spend it with us. You had a million other things you could probably do, and we appreciate you spending the time with us. And then to the coaches, we definitely know you've got a lot of other things that you could be doing with this time and all of the preparation and making sure we were available and clearing schedules and what have you. So a huge acknowledgement. Thank you for doing this. And, you know, a lot of the topics covered here just don't get discussed. We just don't teach them. We don't talk about them. We just kind of, you're born, you go to school, you hope you meet someone, and best of luck to you all, and keep in touch, you know? It's never really discussed or talked about. So we end up banging into the walls. We bump around a lot. We're unhappy. And this sharing that's happening here is really generous. It's what makes things work, whether it's from dating to how to make a relationship last and work, to how to get into the areas of sex that excite you or that you want to keep your relationship exciting with. All of these are things that are not shared. So I'm so pleased to be able to interact with you. And I'm so grateful that you chose to spend the time with us. We're super excited about tomorrow. So go ahead, get the email. You're going to get the Zoom call, the Zoom link, and we'll see you all there. Thank you to everyone for joining. It's been fantastic. And we will catch you all tomorrow on Zoom at 8 p.m. Eastern.